Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk About Houses. I'm Todd.
I'm Oana.
Okay, today we're going to talk about the home price forecast 2024, the economy, and a bunch of other things. What to expect this year.
Unless you'd like to discuss our wardrobe choices and my hairdo. Either way is fine.
Okay, but what we're first going to talk about is an opportunity if you live in Vegas and are thinking of selling and you want to stay in the house.
Right. So we have investors who would like to purchase homes and rent them out. Now, who makes a great tenant? Well, maybe the previous homeowner does. So this is an opportunity if you are a home seller to remain in the home, rent the home back from the investor for an indeterminate amount of time. So you can stay there for a few months, for a few years, whatever. We'll work it out. So if you're in need of cash and want to sell your home and want to stay in it, give us a buzz and we will see what we can do to connect you with these investors who may be willing to purchase your home. And we are not necessarily interested in a particular price point, so all price points are game.
Yep.
Okay.
We need you to reach out to us, though.
Absolutely.
I'll put our information in the description. You can reach out to us if you're thinking of it. This is perfect for somebody who says, I know I'm leaving in 6 months, 8 months, a year, 18 months, but I want to, maybe I think home prices are going to fall or whatever. I want to just get my money today.
Right.
But I don't want to have to move. I think that's the thing a lot of people don't want to do is move. But we will, it'll be part of the deal. Their rent will be, we'll make the whole thing work for
Right.
you.
So part of the reason why we're doing this is because we've run into a lot of home sellers in the last few months who say, hey, I want to sell my home, but I don't want to be homeless. And I know that somebody who's going to buy my home, who's an owner occupant, is going to take possession within 60 days or so, and I may need longer. So that's where this was born from. And it's really interesting because this is across all price points. Lots of people, we've talked about this before, lots of sellers want to sell, but they don't want to be homeless. So this is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for you as a home seller to go ahead and put the cash in your pocket and be able to go out there and shop for a home and not be tied to a particular timeline. And it's an opportunity for our investors to purchase a home in a market where there are not a lot of homes to purchase. So it's a win-win situation.
Okay, on to the video. It's from a couple articles. We have a bunch of information here. Mm-hmm. Experts project home prices will increase in 2024. This is nationwide information. This is an aggregate. This is not just in Vegas or whatever.
Right.
There certainly will be differences in different markets, but we're just going to jump right out and put this first chart up here. 2024 home price forecast. No, Realtor.com is the most negative. They're the only one who said negative 1.7. Remember a couple years ago, they were the highest. They predicted the largest increase.
I thought it was Zillow who was the highest.
That was last year.
Okay.
2 years ago, it was Realtor.
Okay.
Zillow wasn't the highest. They were second highest. The Mortgage Bankers Association beat them out. They said 4%.
Okay.
You know what gets me, first of all, that these numbers are completely made. They just guessing, right? They spun a wheel and landed on 2.6. So Freddie Mac said, okay, it's 2.6. I don't know. I think they're probably all looking at the same information, but they came up with different things.
Well, I think, yes, everybody's looking at basically the same information, but I think they're giving different data points a different weight, mm-hmm. and that's how they're coming up with these differences.
Okay. So anyway, this is their forecast. It'll probably get revised 5 or 6 times.
At least.
And then you don't know that there's a lag time. Some of this may have been based on the high 7% interest rates, right, too. That's something else we're going to talk about here, too. Okay. So what is driving all of this? Because we, of course, know that there are people out there that have been predicting housing crash for about 5 years. Actually found an article. It was funny. This guy in 2014 pointed at the number of homes inventory was starting to pick up, and it was likely that something had to happen in 2014 to 15. Home prices went up. The homes just got purchased. Nothing happened. Okay. All right. So here's the first piece of information. This was GDP. The U.S. economy grew at a blistering 3.3% pace in Q4 while inflation pulled back. So the economy grew, mm-hmm. even with high interest rates, but inflation lessened because of the monetary policy and other things probably.
Right.
Okay. So Oana, the economy usually doesn't go from 3.3 to, 0 or negative unless something changes, right?
Well,
something changes dramatically.
Right. I mean, there has to be a black swan event, which I know we've had a lot of them in the last few years, mm-hmm. but barring something crazy happening again, the economy probably is going to turn along pretty good.
Okay, so here's the first chart. This was GDP, and this has changed from the previous quarter. What's most interesting about this chart is that 2022, quarter one, quarter two, that was the immediate effective interest rate changes. Mm-hmm. But you can see by quarter three, the economy was growing again because the economy had adjusted to the monetary policy. What's also interesting is, if you remember, quarter one is so this was a recession. This was actually a recession in 2022. We did have a recession. That's what that means: 2 consecutive quarters with negative GDP growth. Mm-hmm. And during these 2 quarters, home prices went up substantially because this was January, February, March, April, May, June. They actually went up to, at that time, the highest they'd ever been, because people were rushing in to get the cheap money, pushing up home prices. So this theory that people have that, oh, if we have a recession, job losses, foreclosures, people will have to sell, the market will get flooded overnight with properties. That didn't happen here. How was this any different? We had all these things were happening, and we didn't have the same thing. Right. I wonder how many times this has to happen before people realize it doesn't happen that way.
Right. Well, I think people have short memories.
People have short memories. I think the other thing is people have very general belief on how economies work and how all of this works. So let's take some things into account. Let's take a married couple. Let's say one works at a tech company. I just met a guy. He flies an international airline pilot. They live in the Bay Area. His wife works for a tech company. Mm-hmm. She works in kind of like software. She manages people that are in charge of a bunch of software. They are both super high income earners. Mm-hmm. I asked him, so do you own or whatever? And he says, yeah, I own a house. We have a really good interest rate. It's like, I think he says they have a 2.9% 15-year thing. He says, it's a really good rate. I can't get rid of it. I can never sell. And I asked him, like, your payment's probably not very much. He goes, no, it's not very much at all. It's like, actually, it's pretty low because it's only at 2.9%. And he said, either one of us can easily afford our mortgage without, like, we don't really need both of us earning money. But so that's a perfect example of, he is an airline pilot, probably makes $30,000 a month. She is in tech in the Bay Area. I would be shocked if she doesn't make $180,000, $200,000 a year. Mm-hmm. And they have this $3,500 a month mortgage payment. Renting that house would probably be $6,000-7,000. Right. Where they are in the Bay Area. And they would not be phased at all if he got furloughed from his job for a short period of time, or she was completely laid off from her job or whatever. They would just, unless they both lost their jobs, then you have to figure out like how much savings they have. Right. But still, people that have super low interest rates aren't just going to expunge those rates.
Well, and the other thing is, when people lose their jobs, it's not like they're out of a job forever. That people do go out and get another job, whether it's in the same industry or in a different industry. But people are industrious, they're capable, and they get another job.
Now, jobs, U.S. payrolls increased by 216,000 in December, much better than expected. Now the forecast for January's jobs are going to increase. So yes, you probably have seen news of tech companies laying off, but we've had that for 2 years. And over the last 2 years, every time a tech company lays off, those workers go back to work, because this 216,000 jobs is net payroll. It's net jobs. So there's more jobs created than even with jobs lost. So if we lost 200,000 jobs, we had to add 416,000 to have payrolls increased by 216,000.
Correct.
That's what it is. It's the government tracks how many people are on payroll, W-2 income. Mm-hmm. They track that pretty easy because they have access to all the data.
Right.
That is not the sign of that's a sign of a economy where people can make their super cheap mortgage payments.
Right.
Right? Here's another interesting one. U.S. home prices forecast to climb as the mortgage rates fall to 6.3% 2024. This was an aggregate guess. Mm-hmm. Bunch of people. The lowest ones were in the 5s. The highest ones are about what they are now, 6.6, 6.7. Mm-hmm. Although those are higher than they were a couple years ago, those are historically pretty reasonable interest rates.
Right.
right?
They are. Look, I mean, we know that historically the average interest rate is about 7.5. So this is more than a point below the average interest rate. So that's still a great interest rate.
Yeah, that's super good interest rate. Matter of fact, here is the last week's snapshot from Freddie Mac. This is the 30-year fixed and the 15-year fixed rates. So last week you could have got a 15-year fix at 5.96%, and then that's for an average borrower. Certainly there were better deals. A VA loan is going to be less than this, and the 30-year fixed 6.69. Now this is a Freddie. This is conforming. So FHA I think was a little bit of a better rate, even though you have the PMI mixed in there. And then the other cool thing is it shows you the range, and that 7.79 on the where it says 52-week range, and then that 7.03, that was just like 2 or 3 months ago. So we've already come down from the highs. So it looks like, I don't know, it looks like mortgage rates are heading kind of in the right direction. But here's the bottom line. Even with these mortgage rates, we have the extremely low inventory. Matter of fact, inventory is so low, we are shamelessly plugging to call us directly if you want to sell your house,
right?
And stay in there as a renter, because we have investors who, like, literally, we have so many people right now trying to buy. The number of people who have called in the last week because they either want to just buy a house and move here. Oh, California just effective January 1st just raised their marginal highest rate from like 13.1 to 14.1. It's another 1% higher. So if you're in the top tax bracket and you pay 35 or 37%, and then you're paying 14% to California. So I had somebody literally call me this morning and said, I'm moving. I'm out of here. I'm moving to Vegas. I don't have to live here. I can work from home, basically. I don't have to live in California. But I'm done. I'm done paying that. You know, the number they gave me was it's $1,000 a week that it's costing him to live there. And he goes, I've seen what Vegas is like. I'm just moving there.
Right.
Okay. So we have a shortage. We're going to continue. I believe that this is going to continue the exodus of people from California to Nevada, with California just raising tax rates on people.
Right. Which is actually good for California. And you're thinking, what? How is that good for California? Well, it is. You know, look, if everybody's position is that California is crowded, that there isn't enough housing, that there isn't enough of whatever, and you have net people leaving California, then it's a good thing because that's relieving some of that pressure. So the fact that people are leaving California is not a bad thing. The fact that they're coming to Las Vegas can be a good thing. You know, obviously we thrive as we grow. You know, there are certainly growing pains for Southern Nevada and for any community that has to absorb a large influx of people relatively quickly. But, you know, Southern Nevada has always been very good and very hospitable to newcomers. So welcome to Nevada.
And if you're coming from California, we kindly ask that you bring your own water and your own electricity with you, because you cannot use any of ours because we only have enough for us. Okay, so you'll have to find a way. New people moving as of the end of this year won't have any access to water or electricity. So you need to immediately move this year if you're going to move, and we can help you with that.
There you go. Apparently, Todd knows something the rest of us don't.
No, so honestly, you know, we've been talking about this for years now. Actually, it's funny because I think the first housing crash we actually defended ourselves against was in 2013. Okay. It was 11 years ago. Shadow inventory was going to crash. The shadow inventory, there were 50 to 100,000 houses just in Las Vegas that were going to flood the market within the next year, and they were going to crash home prices again. And we were sitting there going, well, where are they then? Like, we keep hearing about them. And there were people calling for sell your house now. You know, it's blah, blah, blah. It's going to be housing crash 2.0. It was only 6 years after the last housing crash.
So if you are a fan of the Crash Bros, then bring it on. Please let us go ahead and help you sell that house before the sky falls.
Yeah.
We have people who are interested in taking that property off your hands.
If I can find that video, I think I can. I'll put a link right over here. You can click on it and watch. You'll notice that we're in a old office and where we talk about the shadow inventory and all that stuff. I think I can find the video pretty easily, but it's from 11 years ago. And it's the same thing. It's the same. The housing market's going to crash. It's actually the same people that are saying it now. So anyway,
Okay.
But we're not seeing anything. We're just seeing kind of a normal year. Yes, inventory is choked off, and we know there's a lot of pent-up demand. So we'll see. I think it's going to be an interesting year. I think it'll be a very busy spring.
Any more charts?
No, that was it.
Okay, well, thank you for watching. Thank you from Hero and Hero Support. And and hope you had fun.
You can be hero next video.
I can be Hero next year.
Yeah, I'll let you run the video.
There you go. Yay.
You can also edit the video.
Yeah, no, I'll just be Hero Support. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, you can be hero support.
So thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Hope you had some fun. Hope we made you laugh. And hopefully you learned something. Please remember to like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let us know about selling your home, selling somebody else's. Just go ahead and sell your neighbor's house. It's okay. We'll figure it out later, right?
Yeah. They'll thank you for it later.
Exactly. They'll thank you for it later. So I hope you had a good time. We'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye.